Hello everyone, this is RB Jewels with STO Handmade Jewelry and Craft Corner. Today I'm coming to you, I'm going to show you how to make a bezel Rivoli crystal. It took me a long time to learn and I felt defeated, and for me what I learned was that I was actually using the wrong kind of bead to do it. So I know I've mentioned in other videos the Delica bead. For other instances, I generally don't use them. There comes a time when you can use them and mix them with other beads. But when you want to bezel something, a stone, a crystal, and it's very beautiful and uniform, the Delica bead gets the job done every time. I have mentioned in other videos, they do break, and I think they break a little bit easier, a lot easier actually, than glass beads. But nonetheless, they bezel crystals, gemstones, glass beads beautifully, and they work really well when you bezel pieces that you're going to use in your bead embroidery jewelry or your bead work, and you're not going to have like a lot of tension on it where it could potentially break, because they do need to be protected, but they get the job done. Another thing that you're going to need are some Ricolas or 15-0 seed beads. And this is so that you can bring in your beads closer. So I chose these two colors because it gives like a cool berry effect with the fuchsia and the purple. So, and then we're going to be working with a size 12 millimeter crystal Rivoli bead. Okay, so give me a moment and I'll be right back. Is in the background. Unfortunately, my cat, you may hear him every now and then. He just wants to be a part of the video, so you may hear him meowing in the background. He's such a spoiled cat. I absolutely love Craig. But let's move forward. So the next thing you're going to need is a 6-pound fire line is good, or a wildfire beading thread. This is my absolute go-to. And then your trusty jewelry pliers, for the sake of flattening the end of the thread so that it'll go through the eye of the needle much easier. And then you also want to have a pair of your trusty scissors so you can cut off ends and clean up your edges when you finish your piece. And that's pretty much all you're going to need. So we're going to put the Ricolas aside because we don't need them right now. So to get started, oh, and I just want to mention, I know I don't always tell you how many beads that you need. So just, if you have them, a tube, a half a tube of beads, because generally a lot of the pieces that we do don't require a whole lot of beads. So I just generally have a lot of beads around because I'm a bead holic. So if use what you have. If you have them, fine. If you don't, and if you want to purchase them, that's fine. But that's why I generally don't. But for this one, you're going to need 30 beads. 30 beads. Well, actually, that's to do the circumference of the of the Rivoli. I greatly apologize. I'm going to take one of these Ricolas, and I'm going to use it as a stop bead for now. And I'm going to bring it all the way down. I'm going to leave it maybe like a few inches so I can sew the other side in. And my thread is beaded, and it is not an arm length, because to bead a Rivoli, you really don't need an arm length. Maybe half of that, not even really that, maybe 12 inches of thread will be just fine for this. So you're going to want to pick up 30 delicate beads. So far we have 5. Pick them up in groups of 5. And let me pull this up so you can get a really close look at a delicate bead. Hope you can see it. Okay. So we're going to let those 5 drop down. While I'm doing this, for me, I actually was like nervous to even try to bezel. And I tried to bezel years ago. It did not work out. When I say years ago, I mean many, many, many years ago. I'm like early 2000s. And I put it aside. And that's because I was trying to do it with other beads. And I wasn't ready to use the Ricola bead. We weren't friends at the time. So I was trying to do it with another bead. So far we have, yeah, that's Craig. If you hear him in the background, we have 5. We're doing this in groups of 5. So that's 15. And we have to put 15 more beads on here. So as I was saying, I really wasn't friends, and honestly, I was probably trying to do it my own way, which doesn't work sometimes. Sometimes you have to follow the rules. Even in doing crafting and making beautiful art, you have to follow the rules. That's 15, 20, 25. There's just sometimes, even though you may like breaking rules, I'm a rule breaker, but there are just times you just simply have to follow the rules. Let me see. Let's pick up one more. Let's do a count again. Okay. So let's do it like this. So that's 5, 10. Okay, that's 10, 15, 20, 25, and 30. So we're going to be doing circular peyote. So what you're going to do is you're going to you're going to put your needle in through the last bead, that is an airplane going by. I can do absolutely nothing about that. You're going to put your needle in through the bead by the stop bead, and you're going to pull it through and close in a circle. And I kind of keep the stop bead nearby, and you can see that it fits. See that? So at this point, what we're going to do is the same way you would do a flat peyote stitch is the same thing you're going to do in a circular peyote stitch. And if you would like, I will put the peyote stitch bracelet in the link to show you how to do that. But what you're going to do Craig is a card. So you're going to skip a bead and go through the next bead. Same way with this one. You're going to pick up another bead. You're going to skip this bead right here and go through the next bead. As you can see with the delicate beads, they kind of guide you a little in the direction to go, which is pretty cool, because you see that this bead, you have to skip this bead and go through the next bead. Okay, so it's going to look flat like this, and then we're going to skip that bead and go through the next bead. That's animals for you. And you're going to skip a bead and go through the next bead. You're going to skip a bead and you're going to go through the next bead. And you don't want to pull it really tight. You just want to gently put each bead through the next bead. Now it's going to look flat like this while we're working on it, but that's okay. Don't worry about that, because it's going to straighten out as you continue to go around. So we're just skipping a bead and going through the next bead. Skip a bead and go through the next bead. And just take your time and go around the entire bezel. When I decided to try the delicate bead to make a bezel, it came out so much better many years later, and I was happier. So I gave it a try. So for that purpose, I absolutely love it, because it makes your work look so professional. So you want to move the bead out of the way. Now, what we're going to do right here, we're going to skip the bead and we're going to step up. We're going to skip this bead and we're going to step up. And we're going to go, let me pick up this bead so I can show you exactly what I'm doing. You're going to step up this bead. Don't worry about this. We're going to use that later just to tie it in. Get that out the way. And then you're going to step up. Okay. And this is what it looks like right now. Okay. We're going to do one more row. And now all we're doing is filling in the beads here. All of the open spaces. What did I do? I feel like I did something wrong. Let's come back out and see, did I do something wrong? Okay, let's come back out. And sometimes you have to do that. You have to figure out, did I do something wrong? Let's go back out of this bead. Let me see here. Okay, I didn't do anything wrong. It's just, let me see, something I was supposed to do right here. Let's see. Let's come out of there. Okay, let's come all the way out. Let's let that fall. Okay, I just had to tighten it up a little more. That's all. Okay, let's go through the next bead. The bead was a little loose, a little too loose. And you just want to continue to, let me bring it up as much as I can. So you want to kind of start bringing it in on itself. Well, that's going to happen next when we add the 15 seed beads, which we're going to be adding next, because it's going to tighten in on itself. And as you can see, it's starting to get a little curve, and that's what you want it to do, so that, see that? It's starting to get a little curve. And that's what you want it to do. So you want to continue just filling in the spaces, and it's going to curve as you fill in the spaces. Let me move these over this way a little bit. So you can see what I'm doing. Okay, sorry for shaking the camera. And let's get that out the way. And you want to continue to fill it in. Okay, now it wants to get caught on other things. So as you can see, it's really starting to curl. So this is getting close to the last one. Okay, then we want to step up right here. See right here where the empty bead is, where the empty space is, and then you want to go up one. And then you want to come out. Okay? And then what we can do is we're going to sew up on this side. You see that? And And we're going to go this side. And what we're going to do, let's pour out some of the Ricolas, because you're going to use the Ricolas to, you don't need many of these, to close in the front of the bezel. We're going to use them on the front of the bezel and on the back of the bezel once we snap it in. So for me, I'm doing it kind of backwards, but this is what we're going to do. And you're going to take a 15. See if you can see it. And you're going to come in. And I know this looks like a lot of thread all over the place, but don't worry about that. You want to have it to go in just like that. And you want to take another 15 and you're filling in these spaces with the 15s. Sorry, trying to stay in frame here. And you want to pull it a little tighter because you want it to go in closer. Let's move the delicate beads out the way. Because we're pretty much finished with them, I think. Not sure yet. I'm going to see. And you're going to turn it. And you're going to add it. You're going to do this all the way around. Let me push these 15 O's over here somewhere to the left, so I won't be moving so much. Well, I'm going to be moving, but I can stay in the camera frame better. So, and you're just going to continue to fill it in. And as you fill it in, it's actually tightening up the front of the bezel. And you can put one row, but I think I'm going to do 2. Sorry if I've got a little quiet. I'm just trying to regather myself because there are a lot of distractions. And you deserve my undivided attention. So you want to continue to fill in the spaces, just like you did with the other spaces in the circular peyote. So this is what we're doing. And we're tightening the bezel as we go along. And once I really learned how to do this, it became so much fun. I cannot lie to you. So you're still going to step up. You're going to step up through the 11. So let's do the step up through the 11 first. And then you're going to step up through the, let me do this again, through the 15. See that? And we're going to do one more row. Of the 15s. So you're gonna just, same way we went through, we're gonna fill in all these little spaces between the fuchsia color, the 15s. So you're just gonna go through. And you always want to make sure that you take your time, because sometimes if you pull the thread, a knot is always waiting to form. It's always waiting to form. So, and just, take your time, enjoy yourself, allow, relax yourself. And, get your favorite beverage, whether it's a cup of tea, a hot coffee. Some folks might drink wine, water, whatever your favorite beverage is, and have it on the side. As long as you are lucid and coherent, because you need to be both and able to focus. And just take your time. Enjoy yourself as you're doing this. Let it be relaxing. Because all the time that I bead and make jewelry, it isn't for someone. Sometimes I just do it for myself. It helps to relieve stress, anxiety, to bring about some peace. See, little knot tried to interrupt our fun, but we got rid of it. Okay. And just continue on. See? This is the top part. And you want to continue to just bead. I know it may seem a little tedious, having to take your time, but you want, your work to be your best work. And I had to learn it does not come from rushing or feeling like you just have to hurry up and finish it. Beading is one of those crafts that you just cannot skip steps at all. You just can't skip steps. The more intricate the work you do, you may be able to use some tricks to do things a little faster, but what you can't do is skip steps. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go through this last bead right here. Take your time, go up through this last bead. See here. I don't know what just happened. There it is. And pull through. And then let's get the other piece out of the way. And you're going to step up without adding beads. You're going to add a bead. You're going to skip a bead. And you're going to close in on the bead. This is going to make it even tighter. Because that's what you want. You want the bezel to be tighter at the top. And then I'm grabbing two at a time, but you definitely can grab one at a time. Just take your time and go through it. because the last thing you want to do is to rush, and you may have skipped a bead, you may have skipped a loop, and you have to go back and take it all apart. That's the worst. Or try to figure out, how can I go back in and add a bead? That's the worst thing that you want happening. So, continue. And you'll know when you reach the beginning because you will see the thread. And I know I take my time to do this. It's because I want you to see all the steps. Because when I was learning how to bead, I pretty much taught myself how to bead. You know, read books, tried to find other videos and things of that nature, and, you know, ask questions. And I spent a lot of time and money teaching myself how to bead. See how I said, see how we're back at the bead. So what we're going to do, we're going to go through this bead once more, okay? And you're going to pull it. See how it has like a nice crown at the top? So what you want to do, because this bead here, we are going to get rid of it, but what you want to do is take your Rivoli and see how it sits nicely inside there. You want to take your Rivoli and you want to hold it down. Well, let me see how I'm going to do this. How much thread? No, I'm not going to do this. What we're going to do now, let me see exactly where I am. You're going to sew down the side of the Rivoli. So what you want to do is you want to do the same thing to the back that you did to the front. And you're going to take your 15s and you're going to go through the back. Let's move this out the way. You're going to go through the back and see how it's going to sew in on itself. See, what did I just do? It's going to sew in on itself. And you want to hold it as you are going through. Let's get this kind of out of the way. And the more you sew it in, it's going to tighten in on itself. I'm going to do a couple of more with you, and you're going to finish this row, and you're going to add another row to that, and you're going to come back and we're going to tie off together. So I'm going to add one more, and I'm going to let you finish the rest of this yourself. Okay? I don't know what just happened. There we go. So you're going to go off and you're going to hold this on the inside, and you're going to finish this row, and you're going to add another row after you finish row, filling the same way as you did in the front, and we'll come back. And we're back. I'm going to show you how to tie this off. So once you have gone all the way around, you're going to sew back up through the Rivoli, the beaded Rivoli, which makes it easy. And what you're going to do, you're going to catch on to some thread. Sometimes if you sew it a little tight, which I generally do, it makes it a little hard sometimes. And you're going to make a loop. You're going to make a knot. Hold on, it's trying to come off there. You're going to make a knot. Then you're going to go up the next bead in the Rivoli. And you're going to repeat the same step. And this is just to make sure that it doesn't come out. And you're gonna go up the next Rivoli. And this is so you can pull it and hide the thread. And we're gonna tie it off. Okay, we're not gonna tie it off with the pliers though, are we? Absolutely not. So you're gonna take it, hold your thread, and this is how I generally do it, and let the thread slide up through the scissor. So there you have it, your completed Rivoli, sewn very tightly. The beads that are very uniform, as you can see. In the next video, I'm going to show you how you can turn this Rivoli into a pendant for a necklace. So until next time, happy beading. Bye.